How many times in life do you get to meet people that can change the world and that have the potential to change the world? How many times do you get to watch them and grow with them change the world? Count on both hands. Give me a second. Okay, well, if you're one of those people, you're a special human being, and I get to be a special human being with you today. I'm sitting with two moguls that will not only change the world for the better, but change the world for the people around them. Because most times, the world around you is the world that holds you back from being the best person that you can be and the best person that you will be. So, learn that changing your environment is how you really change your life. Not only running businesses, being in a marriage, seeing things happen in life that some people don't often get the opportunity to see is life changing. It's cool because these folks been on TV, but they on TV with me. And so right now I want to introduce two of the most beautiful black people in the city of Birmingham and in the world that are not only changing the lives around them, but changing my life as well.
Ideas Inspired Information Podcast, powered by Loke Enterprise. Here's your host, Braxton Holly.
Miss Courtney B, Mr. Jet Lead, how you doing?
Wow, I don't think I was ready for that introduction.
Hey, you've been watching 19 Keys,
Hey,
boy.
man,
He
I'm
been trying to work on his
Yeah,
on his intro.
I'm over here like, ooh, he talking about me? Sheesh,
Hey, no, I gotta,
Hey, that's
I gotta
what's up,
make sure
though.
y'all come in the right way.
Yeah, I
thank you
love-
for
I
having
love
us,
you, man.
I'm enjoying even just knowing y'all. I don't even want to get too far into what y'all do because what y'all do is just an attribute of who y'all really are.
Yeah.
The people that y'all are true God fearing, God believing, and down to earth human beings. You know, in the day and age that we in, a lot of people that we meet, you know, if they on the right, they on the right, and if they on the left, they on the left. And you know, you got some folks that straddle the fence, but they don't straddle the fence correctly. Y'all straddle the fence correctly. You know, cause you love that trap music.
Love
gonna-
God and trap music.
I
Yeah.
do.
We
I
got
do.
to keep that all
I
the
probably
way
should have
real.
worn my shirt today, huh?
Exactly. So as long as y'all been married,
Yeah.
and seeing the ins and outs from single life to marriage life, and operating with businesses and actually being in a work environment, I've noticed that in the generation that we are in today, um, in my personal perspective, and y'all tell me as well, I feel like more people are getting married than have been in the last two generations. And the last couple generations, not so much the one just before us, but the last two before that, we went through a lot of divorce as far as our people. We're not really worried, not other people. But as far as our people, I feel like we went through seeing more divorce and home breakups than we are now. I feel like the generations that grew from that have a stronger value of love and knowing that they will be together and they will stay together. And then on the flip side of that, because you also have the inverse, you got folks that just got kids that aren't married. Have y'all seen more marriage and less divorce in the last 15, 20 years as far as our generation goes, and maybe the generation before us?
I think for me, it's I don't really look at the statistics of, I guess, how much have gotten married and how much have did the D word. Like, we don't say the D word in our house. Like, if we say that, we got to give each other $100. So we can, like, a lot of married couples, that'd be the first thing they throw up. So
Yeah.
we make it our business that we don't even, like, that's not even a word in our home. It's
Yeah.
real. Don't get me wrong. It's a real word, but we don't bring it up. So y'all going to hear me say the D word
Very
when
good.
I,
Very good. I love that.
But we have seen a lot of people have been getting engaged and married. And I think it's good. Nothing is wrong with, being engaged, wanting to be married, desiring to be married. But I think a lot of times, and we talk about this a lot of people aren't really looking at marriage. They're looking at the wedding. You want the wedding, you want the nice ring, but you're not really looking at self. You're not looking at who you're marrying, because a lot of times before you get married, things are already going on. That's not going to change when you get married. It's going to probably probably get worse. If they
Yeah.
already doing something before you get married, they're going to still do it when you're married.
For sure.
So I won't say that there has just been a case of more marriages than being the D word. I think it's more so
Close.
more people are just desiring to, like, it's like a fad right now. Like, more people are just wanting to be married or wanting to be engaged. And some people just really desire a mate, and nothing is wrong with that. But I think a lot of times it's off of for the wrong reason sometimes.
I believe, or what I've been seeing, is yes, it has been a lot of marriages, but at the same time, it's been a lot of separation too.
Good word, babe. Good word.
Yeah, it's been a lot of separations too because, you know, just my opinion. People get married, like you said, for the wrong reasons. You get married maybe for the looks, maybe for the money, but you're not really marrying that person for the love, for the commitment, the lifetime of being with someone. You know what I mean? Money is good. Yes, it is very good. We all need money in a relationship, but when the money runs out or when the money is low, what else do you have to lean on? And you had that love, you know, to lean on. You had that friendship to lean on. You had the good times and the memories that you can make when you don't have any money, you know. So I see both. I see people getting married, but I also see people getting separated because maybe it's just not what they thought it was gonna be. Like, yeah, I wanted to get married to that person because they had everything on my checklist. But then when I got with that person, I started living with that person and day to day, you know, with this person. And I ain't ready for this.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of responsibility being married. You know, it's a lot of responsibility being somebody's wife and being somebody's husband. And, you know, at first, you know, people may say, man, it don't really change. It's just like, you know, you just got the title now. I'm like, nah, I really felt a shift spiritually when we got married. You know what I mean? Like, it's more responsibility on both of us, you know, of when you make that covenant with God, right? So it's more responsibility on you. You have to be a different person. You can't just be a girlfriend. I can't just be a boyfriend. Like, you both are accountable for each other. So it's just more that go into it. And when people actually get married and they see how much work go into being married, they like, I ain't
I
ready.
really want this.
You know,
Yeah.
I still want to be in the streets. I still want hot girls, something. I want hot boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want that. You know what I'm saying?
And that's good. Don't we talk about that? You still
Yeah,
can have a hot
you
girl
can,
summer,
but just
but
handle
it's
your
just a hot
responsibility.
wife summer now.
Yeah, just handle your responsibilities.
Yeah.
Like she always say, take care of home first before you do whatever else you want to do. So as long as I know she taking care of the house, taking care of, I'm doing my part there. Then yeah, I can go out and hang out with the boys, you know, and do my thing. But a lot of people, man, when it's time to put in that work, they ain't ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Courtney, what have you seen as far as a shift in being married from being a girlfriend or even a fiance, just and not even in Jet, but in yourself?
Oh, a lot. You know, I grew up to be, grew up being like this just independent child. You know, like my grandma used to tell my mom all the time, "You making her grow up too fast." She used to always tell her that, and my mama would say, you know, well, if anything happens to me, I want to make sure that she's able to take care of herself. So I carried that along with me. So when I got, you know, when I got married, it was like I can do this myself. I don't really need you. You know, I want you, I like you, but I don't really need you because I can do this myself. So being a girlfriend, it was still like I'm connected to you, but we're not really together. So at the end of the day, you can go tomorrow. I'm gonna still make sure I'm good. When we got engaged, it started being like, okay, Courtney, like if this who you saying God told you to be with, like this at this point, it's a part of your faith. Like if you know that this who God called you to be, or if you're saying that this, like I tell you all the time, and I know God told me that Jet is tied to my destiny. So no matter what happens, you know, no matter what you know we encounter through the journey, I know that my destiny is tied to him some kind of way. But so when I got to a point of, saying that I know that God told me that this is who I'm supposed to be with, it got to a point where, do you really trust him if you're not allowing him to be the person that you need him to be? If you're not allowing him to do, if you're not allowing him to provide, if you're not allowing him, to show the man that he is, if you're just doing, then do you really believe that God told you to be with him? Do you really know? Do you really believe that God has called him to be your husband? Because you're not allowing him to be your husband. You're trying to do what the husband is supposed to do. So I had to, as a fiance, I had to make a decision on, is this really who I believe that God has called me to be, and work towards it. I wanted to control everything. I wanted him to do, but I wanted to tell him how to do it. So a lot of my change came from relinquishing control. The moment that, I took my hands off of, first of all, who he was becoming. Like, I wanted Jet to be the person I wanted him to be, how I wanted him to be, because I saw my life the way I had planned it. As a little girl, like, I wasn't the young girl that dreamed of being married and having a lot of kids. I wasn't that kind. I don't even think I played with dolls. It wasn't like I wasn't that little girl, but I always knew that I would have a lot of money and I would be impactful. I always knew that. So when it came to allowing somebody else in that much of my space, I shut down and want to control it. Like, I don't want to give you that much to hurt me, to dictate if my bills are paid. I was looking at it wrong, but that's how I was looking at it. So the change came when I really accepted, one, who he is, and was okay with what God was calling him to do. Because one thing I did not want to do is try to dictate and make him this person that he ain't. That when we do it on down the line, when we're 5-10 years married, you resent me because that ain't really who you are. So for me, the change came with just being okay with how life goes. Like, you can't control everything, and if you're trying to control everything, then where your faith come in? Where is God really able to work in your marriage and work in you? So for me, that was literally the biggest change, was control. Like, so now a lot of times I'll say, well, I mean, that ain't up to me. Ain't nothing I can do with that. I can't, that's out of my control. I say that all the time because now it's so much peace in not wanting everything to go your way. Like, that ain't even life. Like, let's just be honest. I mean, how many times have we prayed and asked God to do something, and one, he just don't do it right then, or he do it but do it in a different way than what we even thought we was gonna have. So when you think about that, and I kind of think about my life as I've grown, period, not just in my relationship, but in my marriage, but in different relationships, I just think about how the more that I don't try to control every single aspect of every single thing I do, then that helps in my marriage. That helps in that change that, has revealed itself since we've been married.
She said a lot.
I think that was our biggest thing, though.
Yeah, for sure.
For me, definitely. Like,
And my
that
thing was
big.
being able to be in control. Like, so she was feeling like that because I wasn't taking control. So as a man, coming from a single parent background, my upbringing wasn't rough. You know what I mean? So I had to get comfortable with being in control, like making those tough decisions, making those decisions for both of us, taking the initiative to, make the decision or to do the thing or whatever it needs to be done. I had to step up in that manner. So that was big for me. Even if something needs to be said or if I needed to do something or whatever the case was of me being the man and taking control and having that initiative to make the move and bust the move, I had to get comfortable with doing that because coming in, I really wasn't comfortable doing that. I didn't have to make decisions for another person. I only had to make decisions for me. So whatever I wanted to do, that's just what I wanted to do, and I was cool however way it went. You know what I mean? But when you got somebody else and they like, I'm not accepting that, then now you gotta, to take a step back and be like, all right, what decision is gonna help both of us, or how is this gonna help both of us, or I can't just go to the store and not get her nothing. Like I used to go to the store and just get me some, and then she was like, dang, you just went in there and got you some ice cream, you didn't get me none. Like, dang, you know what, you right, my bad, like I forgot. So now, being that was a lot, for me, and that's what I'm still growing at and I'm getting better at. And I remember when she said, I believe this was her release. Her releasing control was, well, if you don't do it, it just ain't gonna get done.
Oh yeah.
So then I was like, all right, she putting the ball in your court now.
Yeah.
So now you either gonna step up, you gonna play ball, or you gonna turn it over. You gonna keep messing up. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna step up to the plate. So I was just like, all right, she putting the ball in my court. All right, let's play ball. Let me step up. You know what I mean? Let me do what I need to do. And one thing about marriage, I think what a lot of people don't like, it just, marriage really puts a mirror up to you. So like, hey, this is the type of person that you are, good and bad. You know what I mean? And when people get in front of that mirror or have that mirror in front of them and they see the type of person that they really are, they good and the flaws, some people really can't handle that. You know what I mean? And so and that's what it was for her too. I had a mirror up and she was seeing herself, and I had a mirror up and I was seeing myself, and we was just willing to really work on our flaws and get better.
Yeah.
That's really been the key to our marriage, because a lot of times we could have threw the towel in, like, man, I ain't trying to do this. Man, I ain't trying to change. I ain't trying to see it, your compromise.
Yeah.
Come to the middle where you win some, I win some. We can live together. People ain't. I mean, it been times where we could have just been like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And this, we know a couple. They're young. Just got married, been married maybe 2 years, and now they threw the towel in, and it was just like,
Separation.
yeah, it was just like, it was like, we can't do this no more, and we don't know the full details of it, but I do know that, they threw the towel in for whatever reason, and so marriage is work. Listen, if you don't want to put the work in, don't get married. Marriage is not. It's a beautiful thing if you put the work in, like anything else. But if you don't want to put that work in, don't waste nobody's time. Don't build a house. Don't have the children. Don't have the wedding. And we witnessed that too. We witnessed people had a big wedding, build a house, have the children, get the cars, get everything, and then 2-3 years later,
Out of there.
Now you starting over. You on your second marriage. You on your second house. You on your second wife. It's like, got more kids.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, don't even. And we're not saying don't get married, because people in marriages, stuff happen. You may outgrow that person, or y'all just may not really be seeing eye to eye. But if it's something that you can really work on and go to counseling for and get better at, put the work in.
Yeah. So that was a lot. And I'm glad, because the same way that was a lot, that marriage is a lot.
Oh yeah,
And
it is.
how did y'all figure out to say, hey, let's sit down and figure out how we need to compromise together, how we work through relinquishing control or taking control? What are like things that people really need to say, hey, let's sit down and do this or this, or take these steps in order for this to work or not to work?
Ooh. Um, we've kind of always had like a good relationship, as far as like we've always kind of been like friends, like really good friends. So I've always felt like, and I'm just open. If anybody know me, y'all know that, I'm basically an open book, like I'm not soft spoken, or, so I'm outspoken. So if I feel something, or if I want something, or if I need something, I'm going to say
She gonna
it.
tell you.
Yeah.
But he was completely different. He
I
ain't like, I got to pull it out of him. And I always tell him, what if I was like that? I mean, I feel like I make it so easy for you, because I come to you and tell you when I need something, what I don't like, what I do like. But for you, it's like I gotta pull it. But I think it comes from just knowing who your partner is. Like we're completely different in that aspect.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, you don't want two completely outspoken people in a relationship.
It's gonna be bad.
That would be like, you would literally bump heads every time.
I might fight.
If we
A lot.
if you both outspoken, so just think about if I'm just this outspoken person and he outspoken, and every time I got something to say, he got something to say back, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Nothing is getting accomplished. But and granted, it's times when he's the outspoken person, I'm the one just like, okay, I might want to say something, but I just be like, okay, you right, you got it. So
Okay.
I think just knowing who you're married to or who you're dating and knowing them. And I think for me, it was, don't try to change that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you can be so hooked on what you want and what you need that you miss that just this is the type of person that you have. Like, I remember, and I'm just going to be as transparent as possible, when we were going through premarital counseling, I told, it was rough. Like, we almost ain't make it to the altar, period. And I remember telling the counselor at the time, I said, maybe his good enough just ain't good enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
His good enough probably just, that's probably just not enough. I feel like it's not enough for me. He was like, that's so arrogant of you to say. And I was so pissed. Like, why? How you gonna tell me I'm arrogant? That ain't arrogant. He's just like, that ain't enough. I need more. And the more that I kind of thought through it, and now, seeing where we are now, almost 4 years in, he didn't mean that I was being arrogant, like, and bullheaded. It was just that I wasn't taking into consideration who he was. Even if that's all he has to give, and like, you done said yes, you have to figure out a way to coexist there together. And at that time, I wasn't hearing that. At that time, it was like, well, he can do better, he can do more, but that's just not him. And now that where we are now, it's like, okay, this is who he is. If he never changes, if he never changes the way he is, will I be able to accept that and live with that for the rest of my life? Because that's what we're here for, the long haul. You want to have that one forever.
Right.
Will I be able to deal with that for the rest of my life? So I think when it comes to couples, and you're kind of thinking through, if you really want to do this and how to go about, having these talks, think about who your partner is and who you are and what you can accept and what you can't. Now, granted, It's going to be some non-negotiables. It's going to be some things that's just not okay. Like, I'm not going to put up with that. But if it's some small, just like, and I won't even say what's small, because what's small to me might not be small to you. But if it's just something that you can literally work through, and it's just like a defect in just their character, or something you're not used to, or something that challenges you, because ultimately it was a challenge for me, because he was different than what I was used to. I wasn't used to somebody that's soft spoken, that's calm. Like, we don't argue. Like, we don't, I argue, but we don't argue. And I've never had that. Like, even in my house, I done seen my mom argue. I done seen my parents argue before. So it was different. It was challenging for me. So when I got into this relationship, I'm looking at it like, he ain't doing enough. When it's really peace. When it's really just something different, that's showing you every relationship ain't got to be like your parents' relationships. Every relationship doesn't have to be like what you saw your parents do, So I think ultimately, if I could tell any couple anything just from what we've experienced, it's just knowing your partner and being able to accept the right, the good, the bad, the wrongs of your partner, and live with that.
Yeah. I always say that we built our relationship on friendship first. If we can't just be friends, then we can't be in a relationship. So this was my friend, you know what I mean? So I always looked at her as my friend. Like, we was cool. Like, our first date, like, we just walked around the park and just kicked it and laughed and talked, you know what I mean? And then other days we just went out to eat. Like, we were just friends, you know what I mean? So I knew at first, I was like, man, Cortne is a lot. She's a lot. Like, I ain't never really had this type of woman before. You know what I'm saying? So it was new for both of us.
Yeah.
I had to figure out how to live with her and how to kind of handle you. You know what I mean? Not in a bad way, but just know how to handle you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it was new for both of us, and I it was just a lot that we went through in the beginning that
Yeah.
I mishandled. But I think you just have to really allow who you are with to grow. And a lot of times, either we don't allow that person to grow into a new person, or that person just refused to grow. So she allowed me to grow into the man that I am today. At first, it was a lot for her, because I was just probably, like she said, I wasn't enough. I wasn't up to her standard. You know what I mean? But she told me what she wanted and what she was looking for and what she wanted in a husband. And, I was willing to accept the challenge,
Yeah.
you can say. And men, you gotta be able to grow. Like, you gotta be willing to change. If your woman is telling you something about yourself, trust me, it's some truth to it. She ain't lying. We know what we good in, we know what we bad in. And you just have to be willing to say, okay, I'm gonna be willing to change and make those adjustments. And if you don't have that willing spirit to change and want to be better, then your relationships, wherever you go, it's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna take something different into each relationship. Like, my last relationship before I got with Cortne was different. I wasn't the same person. She needed something different. Like, just who she was with before me, he needed something different. We gave something different, but when we got together, it was like, okay, she was like, we're gonna make this work. And that's just what it was. We just had that attitude of, we're going to make it work. And I believe that's what a lot of relationships and marriage that last long to this day, that's been married to 10, 15, 20 years, they made it work.
Yeah.
Like, they came to the table, I'm sure, and it was like, hey, this is what I need. This is what I need. All right, let me change. Let me make the adjustments.
Yeah.
And let me make it happen. And we change in different seasons. We all need something in different seasons. Who I was 5 years ago and who she was 5 years ago, we totally different people. We need something new now.
Absolutely.
And we talked not too long ago. She was like, hey, my love language is this. When we first met, her love language was something else. So now it's like, hey, you gotta make sure you go back to the table and say, hey, are you okay? What do you need in this season?
Yeah. It's
You know,
good.
and
It's real good.
you got a lot of married people. We started a marriage group on Facebook, and a lot of people saying that they kind of stopped dating.
Yeah.
And the moment you stop dating each other, the moment you kind of stop knowing each other and stop growing with
That's
each
right.
other, right? Because when you date that person, now you get a chance to talk to them. You getting to date that person you fell in love with. You remember the first time you saw them, and that's why you fell in love with them, and kind of got away from it because the kids, the work, the hustle and bustle of life. And now you like, I don't even know this person now.
Yeah.
So, cause you ain't taking the time out, like, you know what I'm saying?
Just
And
coexisting in the
you
same
just
place.
coexisting. You just raising the kids, going to work, paying the bills,
Day by day.
and just doing it that way, right? So we made a commitment, like, hey, once a week, we gonna date each other. We don't care. We go get some drinks at the bar, watch
Play
the
phase
game,
10.
play phase 10.
Yes.
Go walk around the park, like, whatever. Like, we're gonna spend time together and we're gonna talk. Like, hey, I always ask her, hey, you good?
Yeah.
Need to talk about something? And she asked me, hey, you good? You want to talk about something? Anything I
Even though
can
I
do?
gotta pull it out, we do it though.
We do it, but hey, anything I need to change,
Yeah.
anything I need to work on,
Yeah.
and long as you asking those kind of open-ended questions, then you're able to keep growing.
Yeah, the willingness to do
The
whatever it
willingness.
takes. When you come to
Mhm.
that table, you bring the willingness to do whatever it takes. So the willingness to, if this is what you need, this is what I'm gonna try to do. And you don't necessarily have to say this is what I'm gonna do, because sometimes it could just be you just may not be able to give that in that season, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try. I'm willing to try to do it, and vice versa. Just the willingness to do, like, just to answer your question, I would say, just, I think basically from what we've both said,
The
the willingness to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
If you have a willing mate, willing spouse, willing significant other, as long as you both are willing, when you come to that table to talk, I think you're going to walk off or walk away with literally a good outcome. It might not be the outcome that one or the other may want, but it's going to be a
Right.
good outcome because you both are putting your heart out there and I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And I think a lot of times we don't have that whatever it takes no more.
Right. It's just, hey, you not what I want you to be, so
I'm
be
out.
gone. I'm
Yeah.
gone. I'm out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And now you on to the next person. And you gonna, and I used
Doing
to
the
say
same
that, I
thing.
said, well, look, you either gonna, you gonna deal with my mess or you gonna go to the next person and you gonna deal with their mess. I mean, everybody's
It's going
screwed
to be
up.
something. Yeah.
Everybody messy. It's just what mess you willing to deal with.
That's
You know
true.
what I'm saying? Like, everybody gonna have,
That's
hey,
very true.
maybe she got to pull it out of me, but she ain't got to worry about me cheating on her. I'm faithful.
Baby, I
You
take
know
that
what I'm
pull
saying?
over, baby.
She ain't out here worrying about what my husband or somebody calling
I
you
will
about your
take it.
husband. We just heard a story about that. Like, somebody was like, hey, your husband out here doing XYZ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, everybody messy, man. So you got to be able to just choose what you willing to
What
work
type of
through.
mess you wanna
Choose your
clean up?
miss. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna title that section right there. Choose your mess.
Choose your mess. Yeah.
So let's talk about another mess.
Okay.
When you're in a marriage or a partnership, a relationship, and now you incorporate the time consumption of operating your own business, and knowing that maybe your business puts food on your table, maybe to take you away from maybe that date night sometimes, or just the ebbs and flows of operating a business in general. I know that both of you. Let's talk about your business real quick, cause if I was a woman, I'd get me one of these clean handbags. So
No,
you gonna
that's
make
right.
some men's? You gonna make something for some men's?
If a man
Look at
want a
that, look at
man
that.
bag,
Look
want
at
a
that.
man purse, let me know.
We sporting that boy.
Right.
What you call this? What you call this here?
This is our Dreams on Fire handbag.
Let's sport that
Yeah,
boy
some
real quick.
flames. Because this girl on fire. Them dreams on
Website. What's
fire.
the website?
Our website is Revere Handbags. I know everybody been wondering how to say it. It's Revere,
How you
which
come up
means
with that name?
dreamer. So, of course, we have Living Out a Dream, and I've always been a dreamer. I always, been full of just wanting more always, and I didn't have just the worst childhood, but looking back, I can see where it went as good as I thought it was, But I've always wanted more, and it's crazy because I want more for other people. I want more for. A lot of times I want more for other people than they want for themselves, and that's hard when you're a dreamer because you're like, why you ain't dreaming this big? Like, if you can dream it, you can have it, you can hold it. And I just got to a point where I'm like, dreamer. This girl is a dreamer. What does dreamer mean? And kind of thinking about other words for dreamer. And that's how we can, revere is dreamer in French. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, that's cool. I like that. And now, when I create the handbags, I think of names that kind of help you with living your dreams. So when you pick that bag up, you gonna know. Like, when you pick up that Dreams on Fire, you gonna be like, oh, my dreams on fire today. Like, I'm gonna pick this bag. I'm gonna take this purse today because I'm dreaming big. Like, I need my dreams to come through today. I got a chance bag that is going crazy right now, where it's just, take a chance. Take a risk or lose the chance. That's it. Like, that's like one of my favorite. I say it all the time, don't know. That's one of my favorite slogans. Take the risk or lose the chance. So when you pick up that chance bag, I'm taking some risks today. Like, what chances am I looking forward to taking today? So we just create handbags that just encourage you to live your dreams. And when you pick that bag up, that's your statement piece that's going to push you to it.
So let's talk about the review.
Okay.
I like that. Review.
I wish I could roll my tongue like the French people do, but I can't.
Yeah, I ain't even gonna try to do this.
Right.
So,
I can't say it.
how long you been making these?
We started in November.
And so, all these are one-of-ones, custom bills.
Yeah.
Do you send out a note structure that tell you what the revere is or what the Dreams on Fire? Just something that maybe you open the box and every time you see it, you say, "Oh yeah, I'm on fire today."
Yeah, so in every package, every box, I send them a little note. And depending on what's the name of their bag, like I have a Milani handbag, and it means an achiever, a winner. So I just leave them, you know, a little note in there. They're just telling them about their bag, and you know, it may be a little prayer one day, it may be a quote one day, but everybody gets something that's unique to them.
Is there a limited time that you stay on one design?
Well, so I make different ones. So it just depends on how my creative juice is flowing. So I might make a bag and I'd be like, I like this. I need to add this on the website. Or somebody might say, hey, I like this one, and can you make this? You know, but it's not. None of them are limited as of now. Like the Dreams on Fire bag, none of those will be the same because the flames will go different ways. But for the most part, with the other handbags, they'll basically the same. I might add in like a couple glass beads and kind of glisten a different way. But for everybody, I do something a little different so you won't have the same exact bag as someone else. Because I know it's certain things that I have, I don't want to have the same stuff as other people.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure with Revere that we gave people a chance to still, because your dreams look different. Your dreams look different. It's different from other people. So when you had this dream bag, that we want to make sure it look different as well. So even though they have the same structure, they still may have a little piece that's different, whether it's a color or whether it's a different type of bead that's there, or maybe it's the way that I sewed the handle on or something like that.
So what prompted you to say, hey, I'm gonna develop bags, I'm gonna create one-of-one creations?
So beading, I like beading. So I started with I have an Etsy store that has bracelets, beaded bracelets. So I started with bracelets originally, and I just feel like with bracelets, you can't really be as creative as I want to be. Like, I mean, they cool, they nice, and they were selling, like people were buying them and everything. But it was actually a hobby. Like I just something I like to do. Like it's a release for me. Like journaling is one of my releases, and beading. Like I can be having a terrible day, I pull out, you know, and just start making something else because it's like, it's coming. Kind of like crocheting. You know how people used to crochet, grandmamas used to crochet back in the day.
Old folks
yes.
used to, hold on, let's go even further back. You know, you get your big old quilt blanket.
Yes.
You know, you just sit there, just.
And you just love it. And by the time you finish, it's you done created this basically a masterpiece, really. Yeah. And I think that's what it was for bags. So, you know, I kind of start like I'm a YouTube connoisseur. Like I tell people all the time, I go to YouTube University, literally.
Yeah.
So I kind of start just looking around, just kind of searching different beaded art and beaded things, you know, just to see something new that I can do. And originally, I started making them for myself because I just wanted some cute handbags. And of course, you know, with the algorithm on YouTube and Instagram and different places, after you search some one time,
you got it.
Whole drove of it. So I've unlocked like this whole nother world that I didn't even know of.
Yeah.
So I've gotten reached out to a girl that lives in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it's very, very popular at. So of course, you know, a lot of times other cultures take from us, you know, and you see like a lot of like Russian, like Ukrainian.
That's an interesting combination you just put together.
But that's all I be seeing. If I could pull up my Instagram, I'm sorry, you know, I know no disrespecting nobody, but literally, if I could pull it up, Turkey, like, but it didn't start there. Mm-hmm. It started in Ghana, and I have a girl that is willing to kind of teach me, to kind of help me, but I'm self-taught right now. Like I literally look at YouTube and I done built all of this. Like I think I've made maybe 20 bags from November by hand, and it's self-taught. Like I've literally watched a YouTube video and then did it. But now I'm working now where I can kind of get on one accord with timing with a girl in Ghana that's gonna teach me like some real techniques where I'm like really doing it. I mean, I'm doing it right, but just since it originated there, like let me see what you do, how you do it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cheat code.
What's up, family? Antoine Williams here, and I'm the host of I Am Devoted podcast. And I just want to introduce myself to you. Listen, my show, I Am Devoted podcast, is all about making biblical truth accessible to the believer who is living a devoted life as a disciple of Christ. Listen, if you are that believer and you need somewhere to tap in, you can find me on all social media platforms. I am on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and I am on TikTok. I can't wait to see you there. All right, y'all. Go in peace, family. I love you.
Yeah. Well, nah, I wouldn't say a cheat code, but just to make sure that I'm putting some respect on y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm gonna get this right.
Yeah.
My bag ain't finna come over here and they finna have me on YouTube. You see this back here?
That's right.
She should have, and then you like, oh, that's how y'all feel.
Absolutely, absolutely. So
No.
yeah, it started as a hobby, but I love it, and then just put my own twist on it. You know, making sure that I'm doing something here that sets my business apart and how I do it apart. So I make sure that I'm finding, whether it's fringes, whether it's feathers, like just finding different things that kind of suit people's personality.
You know, I can tell a lot about you about this bag.
Okay.
You handcraft these bags. Let's start there.
Okay.
But I can tell that the rigidness and the structure of this is something that you put your time into, put your heart into. You really care about this because this I can pick this up and then it can be droopy right here, and this boy's built like a handcrafted, piece of good.
Yeah.
Like wherever I hold it, it hold its weight.
Yeah.
Like I need to. Hey, look.
And I think that was
I don't want no
one of
beaded
my
bag, but
biggest fears.
I need a good bag like this here.
Yeah, that was
I
one of
want
my
no
biggest
beads,
fears with it, because I always be telling him, like, I hope it's hard enough. I hope it's sturdy enough. But
Yeah.
when you think of, I feel like when people think of beads, they think of like probably something that's like flimsy.
Yeah.
But I be trying to tell them this ain't that.
Yeah.
At all.
This ain't that.
But yeah.
No, yeah.
Sure.
I look, if you ain't got you one of these bags, you might need to go and get one. Let me know the website one more time.
Revere Handbags. It's
What's the social media?
REVEUR
Say
handbags.com.
Yeah. Y'all heard how
Social
she
media
said
is
that.
Revere Handbags as well.
Hey, look, typed in on the screen, whole
Stop.
catalog, all that. We need that because we need more things that are made by humans.
Yeah.
We in a robotic age right
Oh yeah.
And so,
For sure.
you get some robots that know how to just let the bead come down.
Man.
You done. But all that is ingenuine. The robot ain't gonna write the letter. The robot ain't gonna put the same heart into
It ain't
this.
gonna mean the same.
Exactly. And I like it.
Yeah, thank you.
I might have to get me a store and review it is. But let's put your business, alongside with your man business. This man right here, he's told a lot of people that your dream is yours, and if you don't do what you need to do to allow your dream to come to life, it will not come to life.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell him what load mean. I want you to tell him what load mean. Load me back up right now.
Oh man. Low means living out a dream, right?
Yeah.
At the company, we believe everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a dream. Everybody has a gift that God, put inside of them, and you should be pursuing that each and every day you wake up. Yes, you will, get away from it. Yes, life happens. Things get hard. Money get low. Life happens. But your dream is what you fall back on. It keeps you going. So that's what it's been all about, man. We love to encourage, empower, inspire people to find their God-given purpose, man, in life and live it like you doing.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
You living out your dreams. I feel like everybody is low. Everybody's living out their dream or should be finding their dreams and living it, all right? Because that's what we here for. God put us here on this borrowed time for a reason, and that's to make the world better than how before we came, right?
That's
So find your dreams, find your purpose, find your gift, and live that, pursue that every single day. My life has changed since I started doing that, since I started waking up and pursuing my purpose and pursuing gifts and visions. Life has changed, man. And then the people that you impact, the people's lives that you change, and they come up to you and say, hey, man, your video or your shirt or your post on YouTube or your post on Facebook, Instagram, it changed my life. It changed the way I was thinking. It changed my vision. So, living out a dream, That's just what it is. We living out a dream.
Yeah.
As long as you have been speaking,
Hmm.
what are some of the impacts that you've seen on people by just your words? Because I think that's so powerful. It's a few things that are very powerful that you won't even think about. The simplicity of pen to paper and the power of that, but then just the power of the voice,
Yeah,
and how powerful your tongue can be
yeah,
for somebody's entire life. What have you
yeah.
seen happen with that?
Man, words are powerful, but actions speak louder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I always made sure whatever I'm speaking, I'm living.
Mm.
I never want to make sure that I'm being fake. I stay true. For real, like I don't want to. And she checked me too.
Yeah.
Make sure whatever you speaking, you living that too. Cause I want my actions to always back up my words. But when people, like the people I grew up with, right, when I was speaking this message and starting the message, they was hearing what I was saying. But then when they started seeing my lifestyle change, they see that I was getting married. I was doing these things, getting better, being better every day. They started to follow the lead, right? They started to get married. I got homeboys I never thought that'd be married, and they married right now and doing their thing. And they say, you inspired me to do that. You got people that's just changing their mindset or just how they think. So that's what keep me going, right? Just seeing people saying like changing their life, changing their ways, changing their actions. Not only saying, "Oh, I just want to live my dream," but actually going and taking the steps to do it.
Yeah.
We could talk about it all day, of course, but if you don't put no action into it,
Yeah.
then
Yeah. Yeah.
it
Yeah. I
don't
love
mean
that.
anything,
I
right?
love what you just talked me into, because um, the premise of having an idea that's gonna inspire you
Yeah,
is your development of information.
yeah,
And so without action, you have nothing.
yeah,
You can talk all day,
yeah,
but until you get up and do it,
yeah,
Absolutely.
you got nothing. I want to invite anybody that's watching right now to, join the solutionary community, where we develop a solution for anything that you
mm,
have on your mind, any
Absolutely.
direction you want to go. There is a solution for everything. Just remember that sometimes
Yeah.
the solution is nothing. Um,
I know you had you asked the question, how do we basically balance the business marriage
yeah, yeah,
relationship?
yeah,
For us, I believe we just in a space where if you working, you working right now, and that's okay. Like grind, get to where you're trying to get to. I believe we both made each other feel secure, and like whatever we're doing, we're not gonna forget about what's important.
mm-hmm,
And our marriage is important to us. So even if you put in your long hours and you work and you may have events, you may have things you got to do. I understand that. I understand that. But long as you always make what's important important, and then I'm okay with that.
yeah,
But the moment that what's important is not important to you anymore, then that's where a problem can come in with me. And I know you may feel the same.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I know a lot of people be talking about balance, but sometimes there's balance and sometimes it ain't.
Yeah.
It's not. Sometimes you can balance the business and the marriage, but sometimes one gonna get more than the other. It just
Right.
depends on what kind of season you're in.
Yeah.
We might, like right now we're in the season, we're in the grind season right now. So he knows that, whether it's the purses, whether it's the main business, like whatever it needs right now, like that's what I'm doing.
Right.
It might be a season where, the main business can keep itself afloat and I got more time to, for our marriage and to do other things that we want to do. So I think it's just really realizing what season you're in and talking. Like
Right.
I'm very vocal. Like I'm gonna tell you what I need, what I don't need, what's going on, what's not going on, what scares me. Like and I feel like that's good because you don't want nobody having to guess.
Yeah.
Because if they got to guess, they don't know, and if you don't know, we got a problem. But if I tell you, now you know, so we ain't gotta worry about all that, right? But I think when it comes to business with us, see, we don't have, I know a lot of people have kids, a lot of people have different other things that they have to, deal with. With us, we don't have kids yet, and he works 24 on, 48 off. So in those 24 hours that he's at work, I'm trying to get as much as load as much as I can up, get it done. So when he off them 2 days, you got my attention, because you gone the whole 24 hours, and I never want him to be like, well, what you was doing when I was gone? He ain't gonna say it to me. He might say it in his head or something, but I never want him to have to say that. So I'm making sure while he gone, this is what I'm doing. So when he asks me, I gotta do this today for the business, I gotta do this today, I'm trying to go ahead and get this done. So when he's at home the next 2 days, we can go to dinner, we can have date night, we can do these certain things. Whereas if I don't get it done in them 24 hours, then when he home, then I'm still in front of the computer. I'm still working on, certain things. Don't get me wrong, I work on my business every day, but I'm not as busy as I am when he ain't there than when he is still.
That's good. That's good. In that structure, 24/48. What does the form of communication look like when you away for 24 hours? Y'all
Oh,
able to
we talk all
communicate
day.
the same
Yeah.
structure?
She called me all day. As long as I ain't I'm a firefighter, so I'm at the station chilling if we ain't on the call, right? So long as if I'm at the station, she want to talk.
Yeah.
So until but yeah, we talk several times a day. Just make sure everything good. And some days we might go a time where we talk 2 times a day. I know yesterday we talked 1 time yesterday while I was on 24 hours, but it also give you that time to miss each other, because I be missing her sometime
We do.
when I be like, man, I missed you, cause
Where you been all day?
yeah, where you been
Literally,
at?
all day.
So it kind of,
That's so funny.
since we don't have kids, it's different for us.
Yeah.
But then it just kind of give you that time, that space away from each other
I'm
too.
sorry, y'all. I'm weak, because the
Yeah.
other day he was like, you be want me to be gone, don't you? You
Yeah.
be glad when I'm gone.
Yeah, sometimes I
I
think she
love
be
my
ready.
space, because woo.
I think she loved them 24 hours. You're like, oh, this man ain't home today. Ain't got to deal with his foolishness.
Yeah.
And I be the same way. I be at work. I don't have to, deal with her. So it's kind of like
looking at that, as beautiful as that is, into the next 10, 15, 20 years, you start incorporating children.
Oh Lord, I don't know yet.
Your businesses are expanding. How do you keep that dating, that spark between you two? How do you plan on that going forward? Because as life goes, it's going to be a
More
combination of things
complicated,
that keep trying to pull you away from the naturality of why y'all are together and what y'all are going to do, going forward. Being that 90-year-old couple sitting at the park every Wednesday at 9 a.m.,
Yeah.
what's that look like? How y'all plan on making that happen?
But we talk about that now, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's why we try to make sure we're trying to get in the habit of dating now, so that it's a lifestyle for us when and if we do decide to have kids. It's already a lifestyle. And of course, people be like, well, y'all saying that now. But if you were already dating, I don't know a lot of people that said they were dating before they had kids. And some people, once they get married, the first thing they do is, thank you. The first thing they do is have kids, So they don't necessarily have the time
had the
to
time to
date
even
before they
build that.
have kids. But
Yeah.
for us, our plan, what we're planning to do, and of course, people say all the time, the greatest way to make God laugh is to tell them your plans. But our plan is to get in the habit now to, where dating is basically second nature. Like that, if we're already in the habit of dating, then when these things come, when the business is when the business is too, busy right now and we can't really do what we were doing, well, we already know, like, something in us is like, okay, we got to do something. Like, he'll come and he'll say, all right, we ain't did nothing, in about a week or two or whatever. Let's just go to dinner. Let's just go out to dinner and eat. Like something, like, because it's a habit. Like, we've already gotten in the habit
for sure.
of dating. We've already gotten in the habit of just making time. And it doesn't have to be dinner. It doesn't have to be you just going on this extravagant date, going out of town. Like, we'll literally get phase 10 and we'll find something on TV to watch, and we'll just sit there and talk, play phase 10, laugh. We'll be at home. We'll do like a wine tasting or something at home. Just
That's
something.
my favorite right there.
That is my favorite. To make
Pull
sure
me up, baby. Pull me up.
to make
Wine
sure
tasting.
that we're still giving each other that time, and it doesn't have to look the same way for everybody. It can be something so simple of just you playing cards, you playing like just a game or doing a puzzle, something to just let you know like I'm here, I hear you, what you need from me. I'm at a point where like what you want care, what you want, what what you need, I care. I don't know what I just said. What you need, I care. Like
Yeah.
it matters to me.
Yeah.
Like that's another part of communication and connection for us. Like we did a activity. What was the activity you had us do? Where it was a Bible plan, and they was asking those different questions. Remember?
I remember.
That ain't no sure I remember right there. It was a
Yeah,
Bible
baby.
plan
Keep
that
going.
was like basically asking us like what do you need from me in this
Yeah.
season? What like it was
We ask questions.
like
We
but
made
you
you
have
ask
to.
questions.
It was really good and that was a form of it wasn't necessarily an outing date, but it still was a time set apart for us to make sure that we still on one accord.
Yeah,
Because
facts.
them accords can get off sometimes. And that's
Yeah.
one of our prayers. We say it almost every day. God, help us to grow together and not apart.
Yeah,
Because it
for
can
sure.
happen
For sure.
easily.
Easily, yeah.
You know, when
If you
when
don't
you
stay
get
connected, man, you can grow apart,
yeah, easily.
especially with social media and everything else going on. You start
Got
seeing
access to
other
too
stuff,
much.
you be saying, oh, and then you wander off.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
like, hold up, come back.
You elsewhere.
Real
Come
back.
back, you know what I mean? But you like hanging out with your best friends.
Yeah.
I like hanging out with my best friend.
Yeah.
So I make time, man. Like I said, a couple of weeks can go by, and we be like, hey, man, look, let's just go out, and so we just make it happen, man, because I believe we want to.
That's what it is.
Yeah, we want to. I think a lot of y'all don't like y'all spouse. That's why y'all ain't going out. Hey, that might for real. Y'all just
don't like each
y'all
other.
really don't like each other. So y'all ain't making no time for each other. Y'all making excuses so you ain't got to spend time with each other. You know what I mean? So hey, if y'all don't like each other, that's why y'all don't like each other, because y'all don't date no more. I mean, y'all need to get back to dating. Call somebody,
That's
hire
good.
somebody, get them kids, and y'all go out, man, and y'all have a night out on the
Baby,
town.
come get them kids.
Yeah, you hire somebody. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for real though.
Drop them kids off, man, and go and go focus on y'all.
Yeah.
Because that was the beginning. It was just y'all before y'all got everything else. And I believe a lot of people just kind of lose focus of it, man. Just like I said, the hustle and bustle of life will make you forget why you married that person.
Yeah.
And now you kind of fell out of love with them, because y'all just been grinding and taking care of the responsibilities, and y'all forgot to have fun with each other and laugh and joke. And I aggravate her all the time. I mess with her all the time. You know what I mean? Just like,
Until
hey.
I'm. Why would he do that?
And then she do the same thing to me.
And then when I'm being aggravated, he mad when I'm aggravated. Boy, you done aggravated me all day yesterday.
But man, it's just you gotta have fun with who you decide to be with for the rest of your life.
That's
man.
a long
It's a
time.
long time.
Yeah.
So, if we can't be silly together and laugh together, you know what I mean? Take trips together and actually like each other, then that's the whole thing. Have you ever been around a couple that didn't like each other and you can tell?
And you can tell.
Have you ever experienced that?
See, I'm that weird person that get on folks' nerves, because I'll tell y'all. Y'all
You be like, y'all like?
Y'all like?
what's going?
Do y'all like each other?
And then it's funny because, sometimes you'll be around a couple, and not that they don't like each other, but maybe they just somebody mad at the moment.
Oh boy.
I'm that person. I'd be like,
Yeah.
hey, bro, what she did?
Oh boy, this one right here, boy, she got a poker face, but we can have an argument on the way here, and then she come out here just like this, and like nothing.
Oh, yeah. And get back in the car. Don't talk to me.
Yeah. It's like, bro. But that's just her though.
That's the purity of what's going on in our house is going on in our house.
Yeah.
It ain't on nobody else.
Yeah.
We ain't worried about none of that. Let's do what we gotta do here. We'll figure out what we gotta figure out.
Yeah.
But, this a us thing.
Yeah. Oh, I remember one time though, she couldn't hide it, boy. They knew she was mad at me, boy. They was like, Jay, what you did? They were asking me what I done did, cause she was, boy.
But it was over with my grandma's house.
Yeah. She remember.
I do remember that.
came
I don't remember what you did though,
No,
but I
yeah.
know it was something.
Boy.
It wasn't
man.
that deep, man.
Yeah. So I remember when we first got together, man. I I said, babe, you need to take a chill pill. Oh boy. You could
Ooh.
see steam coming from her ears, boy. I said that way. I'm like, babe, you gotta chill, cause if you allow every little thing I do to stress you out, you gonna stroke out.
It is.
Yeah.
And so then I think she kind of, she was mad, but she heard what I was saying, and she
Yeah.
was like, "You right,
And
Jet.
sometimes
Like,
just need a little time to let that stuff process.
yeah,
Man,
like everything you do
I
is,
wasn't
I
used
mean,
to
you
it.
know what I'm saying? It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's not a battle every time.
Yeah.
Everything's not a battle.
Yeah.
Some stuff, you gotta. I remember we hear older married people say, "Baby, you gotta pick your
Pick your
battles."
battles.
Some stuff you ain't gotta go to war over. Some stuff you do go to war over. You know what I mean? So you just kind of have to have that wisdom to you, like,
Yeah. And we had the
let that go.
conversation. I think I told you what about a week ago or a month ago or so, and I was telling him like a lot of things that we take into our relationships, any relationship, marriages, is things that we picked up as kids or young, growing up in a household with, your parents, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
And I was telling him that I can remember back before my mom got delivered, she used to literally get mad about everything. It can be something so, like I would literally, when I was growing up, I would call my daddy first and be like, "Hey, I'm just calling you to tell you what happened. I'll tell mama later." Like it was just a different kind of relationship that we had because of I didn't want to have to deal with just what she was gonna say. You know what I'm saying? So when we got together and he would tell me that like you get mad about everything, you blow up about everything. I would say like I knew I didn't want to be like that. I didn't want to, and the excuse of that's how I grew up or that's what I dealt with in the house, that wasn't enough. Like you can't use that as an excuse. You want to be better than that. So I told him, I made up in my mind that I didn't want you to have, because that'll have somebody walking around on eggshells. When you think that if I just say this small thing or the least little thing I do, she gonna get mad and blow up. And I knew I didn't want him to be like that. So I really just got to a point where now, first of all, he crazy. First of all, so you ain't finna stress me out. I be like, okay. He'll tell me, oh, I thought you was gonna get mad about that. For what?
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not finna stress me. Like, I know he said earlier that I would tell him if you don't do it, it ain't gonna get done.
Yeah.
Baby, I will walk off and sleep like a baby. Do you hear me? Nope. Like now, it's
Yeah.
just not worth it. And I think a lot of times we don't break those curses from us. We think that because we grew up in a house and it was taught this way and done this way, that's how it's supposed to be. And no, you still had to say so over your own life and how you want your marriage and relationships to go and how you want to raise your own kids. You have that right to be that way. Like I'm not saying the way my mama did it was wrong, but it just ain't for me. Like that's not how I want, my husband to feel. Like I want us to, and maybe that's why he felt like I have to pull it out of him. Maybe that's why, originally he felt like he couldn't really voice what he wanted to say because he was afraid of what I was gonna say, And I want to create a open atmosphere, open conversation for him where he feels comfortable with, letting me know things and knowing that even if she don't agree with it, she heard me. And I think that's so vital because people are shut down and be like, okay, well, you get mad, they don't get mad anyway, or don't yell at me or don't talk to me like that, And I think that's a lot of things that we had to learn, or I had to learn as well, because of what I saw, what I thought would produce results. But you still can get results doing it a different way. It may just take a little longer, but you still can get results doing it a different way. It's just going back to knowing your partner, knowing how they receive and how they give.
Yeah.
So being creatures of communication, uh, a lot of us aren't communicating effectively
Oh no.
nor efficiently.
Yeah.
We're growing up in different type of atmospheres, and then bringing the atmosphere we grew up in into a relationship, but subconsciously, not knowing that the things that we are doing are based off of the things that we've always seen, the way we talk, the way we act, the way we move, when we do or do not shut down. Coming from each of you's individual atmosphere, how are you able to break maybe a traumatic bond to that natural person that you are in order to communicate effectively to the person that you're with?
Man, if you're not changing, then you're not growing. You
Mhm.
know, what the Bible say? God don't want you lukewarm. He wants you either
Hot or
hot or
cold.
cold. You
Yeah.
either
Yeah.
with him or you not. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So it's just like you. What I've learned the most is, man, you gotta pick it, and you gotta be on that side, man. Like I chose to be with Courtney, so hey, this is what I'm locked in. So whatever I have to do to not lose her that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And I just have that type of I grew into that mindset cause y'all she hit me with go and just get into it. I ain't brought it up, but she said, hey, we ain't having sex no more until we get married. So that was my time to be like, okay, all right, Jet, what you gonna do? So once I made that decision to wait till we got married, I was locked in from then.
Yeah.
I was like, if I can make it through that, I can make it through whatever else. You know what I'm saying? So for me, man, I think our relationship, man, is really unique, man. It's different. Our relationship is so different from other people, man, and she is different from other women. You know what I mean? And I just knew that I was gonna marry her, one, because I prayed for her, and once God sent her, I knew that that was the one. That's who I was supposed to be with. And so ever since we've been together, all she's done is push me, to be better. She encouraged me. She made me a whole totally different man because, one, I allowed that process to happen. Like, it's almost like I wanted it. I wanted to be different. I wanted to be better. My parents, they didn't make it. They was married 10 years before they had me. Then they had me. Then they got separated. Like, why?
What you did, man?
Shoot, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm like, she didn't come from a successful marriage as well. So family structure. So we want that.
Yeah.
We want to last. You know what I mean? And it's just really, man, in this marriage, it's two people that want it
Yeah.
really bad.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to have. And if you don't have that, man, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work, man, because life is full of ups and downs, trials and tribulations, good times, bad times, peaks, valleys, and you got to be willing to go through that with that person,
Mm-hmm.
with each other. You got to be willing to go through life with each other, even when it's good, when it's bad, when it's sunny outside, when it's raining, tornado, hurricane.
Yeah.
You gain it all, you lose it all. She been with me when I ain't had nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we hear plenty of stories like that, but you have to be willing to go through whatever with that person. And I believe it all just starts when that person they make their mind up.
Yeah.
Like, this is all I want, out of how many people in the world? 1.2 billion. However,
About 8.
eight.
He
Oh,
like,
my bad. 8 billion
like, I think it's a
people.
little more than that.
You gotta. I hear you, Bird.
Like,
I
hold
hear you.
up.
It's like,
Uh,
just about a wee bit.
You gotta. You got one out of a billion.
Yeah.
You just gotta make your mind up, man. Cause like J. Cole said, it's always gonna be some fresher clothes, better girl. It's gonna be a bigger house, a bigger car, whatever.
Yeah.
But you never gonna be happy
Yeah.
till you love yours.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at, man. I love
I
mine.
had to drop that song right
That's
there.
Yeah.
good. That's
Yeah.
good. I think marriage relationships period require you to be selfless, but marriage is definitely the epitome of selflessness.
Gotta die to self.
So to answer your question for me, what breaks it for me from what I grew up with or used to, I didn't really see selflessness in my house. I didn't see, my mom doing whatever she had to do to make sure my dad was happy, with my dad doing whatever he had to do to make sure my mom was happy. Yeah, he paid the bills. Yeah, he made sure we didn't go without. Yeah, he made sure he taught me what, was like to have a man in your life. Yeah, I'm not taking any of that away. Both of them are phenomenal parents. I'm not saying that at all. But when it comes to marriage per se, I didn't have that where I saw what it was like to really, really hone in and be whatever I had to do for my husband. You know, really love. Like, I believe they loved each other. But I told Mama, I said, I don't remember y'all. Like, I remember y'all used to go on trips and stuff, but I don't remember y'all telling y'all love each other. And I don't remember that,
Yeah.
And I think for me, focusing on just being selfless. Like, it's a lot of stuff that I don't want to do, but I love to do it, because, you know, it's about you. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of times when I always say outserve each other. Work on outserving each other. So if I'm working on outserving you, you working on outserving me, then it shouldn't be any lack anywhere. Now, of course, we're going to mess up, we're going to slip up or whatever, but if you're working on out serving the other person, then you're meeting that middle together. And I think that was a big part for me with transforming into just being my own wife or understanding what it really meant to be a wife. And granted, we will be 4 years in September, and I still don't have it figured out. I still mess up. I still don't want to be bothered sometimes. It's just different stuff because we're human, stuff that's gonna happen. But um, I have never been this selfless in my life.
Yeah, me neither.
Never even wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I think that was the turning point.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to be selfless. You have to be willing to outserve the other person.
Yeah.
And you know, be willing to outserve the other person and be able to just throw away even what because just because that happened, that worked for grandma and auntie and all of that don't necessarily mean that that's what's gonna work for your marriage.
Yeah.
You can get wise counsel and go to other people for advice or people that want to speak life into you, but it's so many people that put their trauma on you or put what they did or what worked for them on you, and the moment that it don't, what you do what they said and it don't work for you, you feel like your marriage failed. Like, no, be willing to go through and fight this on your own. Like, we literally fighting through this ourselves. We literally talk to God. We have people that we go to and just ask them how you feel about this. But at the end of the day, we walking this walk together. That's just it.
Yeah.
And be okay with that.
Yeah.
I tell you, you've been walking that walk for me, both of y'all, because I mean, every time I got something that I want to talk about with y'all talk about it. I just get to sit here and listen.
Yeah, man, I hope you soaking this thing up, man,
I'm
because your
absorbing
time
all
coming.
Yeah, one day. I'm absorbing all of it because I know the quality of y'all relationship, not only just from being around y'all, but just talking to you right now. Like, it's y'all are y'all are able to allow yourself to continue to elaborate into the ebbs and flows of what can happen next, what we should do in such situations, how to troubleshoot this as one, because y'all communicate as one, and I think that's beautiful, making me feel good over here. Feel good to even have known y'all.
Yeah, man.
It's not many times in life where quality people, but
sure.
know that those quality people are going to be quality people into the future.
Yeah.
Because as time goes, you really tell about a person about who they really are. You know somebody, and you meet them, you talk to them, and they a certain way, and they seem good, but then 10 years from now, you should be like, hey, what happened to that same quality person? Not that you changed, because if you're not changing, you're not growing.
Yeah.
But you're not the root of who you used to be.
Mm-hmm.
You don't still have that base quality. You've transformed into somebody different.
Yeah.
And as much as I even try to communicate with you, I don't even know you.
Yeah.
Man, before we got married, man, we had a lot of people in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
When we got together and people saw that we was gonna be together, we lost a lot of people on both sides. Family members, friends, gone. You know what I mean? And we talk about that to this day. Like, bro, you remember such and such was in your life? You remember such and such was in your life? And now they're not here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just us. and the new people that we've met, like you and other, married people and married couples and different people that we just met along the journey as being together. But I believe that was God was just kind of like they was with you guys up until this point,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now they're just not gonna be in this new season, this new life that y'all about to
Yeah.
have.
They were here to kind of mold you into the place that you need to be in,
Yeah.
for you to be able to see where you were and to the place that
Yeah.
you are going.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
You know what I
for
mean? I had some good relationships, I had some bad relationships, and they both, I both got rid of. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And the same for her. She had she had friends, like, people she knew for years, 10 years, but even when I kind of got around her, I was like, "Man, don't make your real friend."
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? She was likewise for me. She was like, "Jet, don't make your homies." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then time would tell they was not. You
What's
know what I'm
beautiful
saying?
is that when you with somebody,
Yeah.
on a true intimate level,
Yeah.
and now they've learned you,
Mhm.
they can see what's good and what's not good for you,
Oh yeah.
and then how that's gonna help you grow, develop,
But-
and improve.
Yeah. Hey man, if don't nobody watch you, your wife watch you. Your wife know you inside and out. She know you front to back. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? It should be likewise too.
Yeah.
Because you spend every day, all most of the majority of your time with that person.
Yeah.
So they recognize your good, your bad.
Yeah.
And I think I told her that I said, that makes me want to be better. Just being around you all the time. Like, I want you to be able to look at me and be like, man, ever since I married Jet, is I didn't grew this type of way, or I didn't watch you grow this type of way.
Yeah.
We experienced.
What up, y'all? I'm your host, Juice Man Jay.
It's your boy Drew D, the word man.
And it's the one and only Jewel. And you're here with us at Studio Life After Dark.
Man, Studio Life After Dark is the hottest podcast in the city.
We the opinion of the people, man. We the opinion of the people, man. We really just putting it out there, man.
And don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms at Studio Life After Dark.
Man, y'all can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and also YouTube.
Hello.
Market tips, hottest car, Studio Life After Dark.
this together, so it really pushed me and motivate me as a man to want to be better, because I want to be better for my wife. I want to be the best husband that I can be, and I'm learning, and I've made mistakes, and now sometimes it gets messy, and she has to help me clean the mess up. We have to help each other clean
That's
up
right.
clean up the mess, that sometimes we created, but that's just living
It's
and
life.
learning.
It's
You know what
people.
I'm saying? It's just life, and we young in our 30s. She in her 20s.
ain't
She
30 yet.
29. She ain't 30 yet, but we met each other at 23.
Yeah.
24, you know what I mean? And so we've been in each other's lives since then. And, we just allowed each other to grow, and make those mistakes. And, but we know, like, bro, like, we're going to be all right. We always say, we're going to be all right. We're going to be good. This too shall pass.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. You
This too
speaking
shall
now.
pass.
I
And,
like that.
once it passes, we're going to learn from it, and we don't make those same mistakes again. You know what I mean? And so,
Oh, yeah.
it's life is beautiful, man. And I'm learning to just really enjoy the process, man. And I'm glad I get to share with my wife.
Yeah. That person is really the true mirror image of yourself, because you live your whole self in this first person, but you're never able to really see yourself.
Yeah.
And then when you've extended yourself to a person, they can see you from that
Yeah.
point of view that you can't see.
Yeah, facts.
Absolutely.
And that's the point of view that you're scared of.
Yeah,
Because
facts.
these are things you
Facts.
know, but you push to the side because you like, oh, I can, or
I can
maybe-
deal with that.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
okay with that.
Yeah.
But the person that you with can't. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like, they expose it,
Yeah.
and
So
you have to change
you
it.
you gotta make sure that mirror is just as clean on that side as you want it to be for your side.
Yeah.
But I think the beauty of it, though, is finding someone who loves your ugly. Like, I tell him all the time, like, ain't nobody gonna know you like the person that's closest to you, you know? And I don't mind showing him, like, when you're in a marriage or even a relationship looking to be married or looking to go to that next step, you have to have somebody that you can be completely free with. That's not gonna judge you. That's not gonna hold or throw back up in your face the things that you did. Like I don't keep no secrets from him. You know everything.
Yeah.
Literally everything that I've done, like stuff that I said I'm gonna take to the grave. He still know because I know that I can be free with you. I know that what I have experienced is not gonna make you love me any less. And I think that's the beautiful part of it. When you have somebody that love you, that's literally loving you for you. If you can just love my pretty and love my good, then you ain't loving me. Cause my ugliness or things that I've done wrong or things that have kind of shaped my journey are the things that make me me. So if
Right.
you neglect those things or you don't like those certain things or you don't even know, are you even loving the whole person? If you
Yeah.
don't know the good and the bad, the ugly, the ups, downs, if you
Right.
don't know all of that stuff, do you really know them as a person? Because the bad a lot of times is what makes your journey.
Makes your journey.
So I think that's the beautiful part of it is when the mirror is ugly or when the mirror is dirty and that person still can say, okay, I still love you anyway. Well, let's
Yep.
work through that. Well, let's
work through
still build through that. Okay, well, we can use that and that's gonna be, because a lot of times we try to create this life that's perfect or that doesn't necessarily look good to everybody else, but we try to kind of cover it up and make it look pretty. But those aren't the things that still that make you all of the parts of you. And I knew for me, like I wanted him to either you gonna love all of me. Like people when we first got together, they'll come and try to tell him stuff, but he already know. I done already told him. He still loved that. Like it is what it is.
Yep.
But I think that's literally the beautiful part of it. That even when that mirror dirty, even when you don't necessarily like what you see looking back, that you still got a person that's with you that's still loving. Now gonna still tell you, okay, you gotta get your stuff together, but still love you through it.
Yeah, for sure. Man, I hope your
That's
your
good.
your audience is catching these gems
Hey,
that we
look.
dropping, man.
Yeah.
I'm finna go to the jewelry store. Pawn some of them boys off. No, I love that. I thank y'all.
Oh yeah.
Because as beautiful as marriage is, it can be just as messy.
Mm.
A lot
That's
of
true.
people have gone through a lot
Yeah.
by just only seeing the gems of it without seeing, that diamond was in the darkness before it came to the light.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if you can, understand in your life that, yeah, I got to go through it in order to get to it, that's when you'll begin to
Absolutely.
succeed.
Yeah.
We often say here that the mind is a terrible thing to not use, and y'all do an exquisite job at using y'all's mind.
Yeah, we try, man.
Yeah, hey, I'm telling you right now, you do a great job because that key component to that relationship thing is communicating.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And even if you got to pull it out, even if you don't want to hear it sometimes, you know that's how this is gonna work. That's how we're gonna make this thing that we don't like today love tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I think that's beautiful. I love that. I don't even want to stay here with y'all too much longer because y'all might need to start a marriage counseling class.
Oh
or,
no, we got a long way to go.
A school for marriage.
Hey, look, we not experts at all, bro.
But you're an expert in being able to communicate.
The only thing
Okay.
we can do is just give our life experiences,
That's it.
bro, and what we did and how we worked through it.
Yeah.
And how we living now. Like I said, whatever we speak, our actions gotta match it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we not talking about nothing that we haven't been through or we haven't, you know what I'm saying, haven't experienced. So
Cause we got a new testimony that's we probably gonna do a podcast about it or the season we in now.
yeah.
Yeah.
We in the season we never been in before.
Yeah.
And so we're
You're
growing through it.
Season you never
Oh
been
yeah.
Yeah.
But we gonna share it. We tell
Yeah.
all our he tell my business most of the time. But we tell all our business. So we gonna tell it. We gonna talk
But we
about
do
it.
have a marriage Facebook group that we just started,
yes.
Man, how
man.
you get into that?
Man, I'm gonna let them know, bro.
Well, we don't really have a lot of marriage friends. We have a couple,
Yeah.
marriage friends. But when we got married, we always would say we want like other couples that we can learn from, and whether we want to do outings or just you can't do life alone, let alone you definitely can't do marriage alone. So I was like, okay, so I think we should start just a group of not necessarily we're the ones that's teaching in the group, but just create a hub where other couples can come and just see you ain't alone. The same stuff I go through with him, it's the same stuff other wives go through. The same stuff he deal with me is the same stuff the other husbands deal with as well. So one day it was just like, let's do it. You
Yeah.
know, we want to do different like Zoom calls where we'll invite, you know, different teachers in or seasoned married people to come in and facilitate different Zoom calls, and we do different activities with the couples. You know, just letting you know you're not alone. I think that's so important, because one thing the devil tries to do is keep us silent. And if we can be silent about what we're dealing with and what we're going through, then we can't speak ourselves out of it. Or we can't tell anyone that can, in turn, tell us, hey, I dealt with that. This is how I got through. Or, girl, I'm dealing with that right now. You know, if you keep it closed in and you don't talk about it, then that's when the enemy can keep trying to play in your mind and, you know, keep you in that place. So with the activities that we do and the different couples who have joined, we just want to just give you an outlet that you're not alone.
Yeah.
And that you like this can work. If you want it to work, it can work. And although we don't have all the answers, we seek wise people that do have some answers that can also come in and speak with us as well. So yeah, well, Jay came up with the name. We was trying to think of something. He was like, I think the marriage hub. I was
Yeah.
like, I like the hub, because basically
Marriage
in a
hub.
hub, it holds everything you need for that particular subject. And I think that's what the marriage hub will provide. And I did not expect to have 30 plus people in the group in less than, I think it was that same day that I had posted the post. So God gonna do some incredible things. It's not, and I tell people all the time, it's not our group. It's all of our. It's not just our group. It's everybody's group, and we all here to learn from each other.
We just here moderate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Marriage Hub on Facebook is the group, and it's a couples group. It's not a wives group. It's not a husbands group. It's a couple group, and yeah, we got some good things that's coming.
Yeah. For sure.
I love that. I don't want to tell all that business because they got a lot of it. Make sure you tap into that Load Up podcast.
Oh yeah.
That's where
Shot by the finest.
Oh, yeah.
we here to do what the God gave me to do.
Hey.
So
Yeah.
go ahead and tap in right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Tap into Revere. I said that right?
Revere.
Revere. You know.
Revere.
You know,
Revere.
you got to go ahead and start living out your dream.
Oh
Facts.
yeah.
You got to do all the things necessary because that's the next level.
Yeah.
That's the
is.
next step.
Yeah.
How can we stay tuned to y'all's journey within, you know, your businesses, your personal lives, you know, what you want to let us in on?
Oh man, YouTube, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
The
podcast.
Load Up podcast is definitely where we you know, we release a lot. we
tell all our business.
We tell our stories, man. And you know, that's where you can really find us at. And then everything from there is gonna lead you everywhere else you need to go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for being here today.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having
man.
us.
For sure.
This was good.
For sure, man. This is a dope spot. We might have to shoot right here.
Hey, we're going to have to do it. We're going to have to get control of
Yeah.
this sun.
I know. that's right.
boy, what? Hey man, y'all stay healthy, man. Eat good, get some exercise, man. Get some sunlight.
All that.
Don't sit on the couch and all day, man. It's bad for you, you know.
It is.
Get out there and get active.
There you go. Hey, I often tell y'all the mind's a terrible thing to not use. Make sure y'all use y'all mind. We'll
For sure.
see y'all on the next episode.
Peace.
Today I was able to sit with two incredible human beings and allow them to tell me things that will improve me, improve you, and then develop people in their life as far as being married. And not only that, but being able to incorporate that in their business life. Because as business owners in the day and age that we live in, a lot of people want to create their own businesses. And that business can take you away from the natural human connection that we have with people. When you're with a actual human being, you then feel things different. You see things differently. And so what happens is our phones don't have that same connection. Our FaceTime doesn't have that same connection. But being able to connect with actual people allows you to become a better person, not only to yourself, but the people around you. I thank Cortne and Jet today because they give me insight on things to look out for, things to prepare to do, and look into myself in order to be better, not only for me, but for a partner, for that lifelong journey that is marriage. Because as long as you can remember, marriage is the thing. You know, we can't continue to create human life forms without a marriage. I mean, you can, but you're not properly doing it in the way that's going to flourish in your life. And so I'm thankful in that. I'm thankful for their teachings of being able to be adaptable, being able to relinquish and take control of certain situations. Um, Being not married allows me to have a different point of view from those that are married, and being able to learn from those that are going through things allows you to say, hey, all right, so let me take account for myself. Is this the reason that this may or may not be working? Is this the direction that I want to or want to not go? So take account for yourself, take account for where you're going and what you're doing, because without self accountability, you cannot, tell someone else what to or to not do, what is good or not good or not good for them. So thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Justin. I had to give them their real government because they're real people. Their aliases are just a part of who they really are. And I'm glad to have had this conversation with them and learn from their wisdom.
Yo, man, we just want to thank Braxton for allowing us on the platform, man. We hope that our message, our story, encourage, inspire, empower someone out there, man, to just stay with it. Marriage is not easy, but it's worth it. If you put the work in, always be willing to grow as a individual and as a married couple as well. Always put God in the middle of y'all marriage, because you can't do it without him. So we just want to encourage you guys to keep going, to make sure that love is in your marriage, man, because love is a powerful word, and love yours. So we thank you again, Braxton, for allowing us on the platform, man. We hope something that we said ignite a fire in your audience, and they go out there and live their dream. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for life, health, and strength, God. We thank you for this moment in life, God. And we ask that you just be on this podcast, be in this discussion, be in this conversation with us, God. And we thank you for what you're doing in all of our lives that's here right now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I love when a good man of prayer get to praying.